going on, everyone? Welcome to another unboxing video. What I'm doing right now is just doing a little water change on my quarantine tank here. And the reason that I'm doing that is it's just been cycling for a couple of weeks with dirty tank water. I already had pre-cycled media in the filter, and I just want to do a quick water change right before I add the new fish, just to make sure the water parameters are good and everything's looking good. There's not really any waste in here. When I put the water in initially, there was a little bit of waste in it, and I did that just to jumpstart the bacteria growth in here. And even though the filter was already cycled, it's still good to do something like that. But anyways, I'm gonna finish cleaning out the water here, and then we'll do the unboxing. Alright, so we have the package here. It shipped out around 10:30 last night, and I got it around, I think my mom texted me around 2 o'clock saying that it got here. So these fish have been in the box for a little over 14 hours or so, and I can tell right off the bat that it's packaged very well. I have not ordered fish from these people before, and I could tell right away that they know what they're doing. And the fish that are in this box are not regularly kept. It's somewhat of a niche group of people who keep these, and I kind of want to give them a little bit of highlight in the hobby itself and just show how cool these fish really are. And for those of you who already keep these, you know what I'm talking about, why these are a good fish to keep. But anyways, we'll start opening it, and I'll tell you guys more about them as we get into this. So, the moment of truth. I'm extremely excited right now to be opening this. Oh, what's this? Oh, okay, about acclimating fish. That's cool. I already know about doing that, but that's still cool that they put that in there. And alright, about not releasing your fish into the wild. I've never seen that included in the box before, but alright. Gonna have to get this out of the box somehow. You're probably wondering what kind of fish are these, that they're not commonly kept and that it's sort of a niche type of people who keep them, and it will all make sense here in just a moment. I'll tell you though that I already have one, so that might give you a little bit of a idea on what's in here. I'm gonna look in here real quick before I show you guys. I believe everyone is doing good. So obviously I just got the sneak peek. I wanted to see them just to double check to make sure everybody's alive. From the looks of it, everybody seems to be alive in here. And I'll give you another hint before I pull them out of here. They're almost like a cichlid, but they're not a cichlid. Alright, so we'll start out with this bag here, because these are what I already have. So we'll pull this out and set it off to the side. And I don't know how well you can see in here, but what we got are some green sunfish. That's right, so everything in this box is variations of sunfish. And here, like I said, I have the green sunfish, and that's actually what the fish that I already have is. And they're really cool. They have big personalities. They are good eaters. They'll pretty much eat just about anything. The only thing is that they're really mean. Oh, we got that double bag action leaking slightly, but these guys look like they're doing very well for just coming on a shipment. And I have 4 of these, so we'll have 5 total, and of the stock, they will be the most prevalent fish in the tank. And the reason is that I'm most familiar with these guys. I've kept them for a really long time. I've had 3 of them, and of anything, I know about them. I know their personalities and everything like that. So I've never kept multiple ones per tank, so that will be kind of interesting. So that's about enough on these guys. I'm going to dip the bag in the tank right now and float acclimate them. And next up, I've got the, let me take this exterior bag off so it's easier to see them. There should be 2 different types of fish in here, unless something happened, but let's see. Alright, and what I have here is 3 Pumpkinseed Sunfish, and these ones are pretty cool. They get a very nice coloration as they get larger. When you see them now, they'll be kind of bland looking, and really all of these fish will look kind of bland looking, and there's always those fish that will kind of have a transformation. As they're small, they kind of look real bland, and as they grow, they get really, I guess for lack of better words, pretty. And that is what will definitely happen to these guys. Now, initially I had wanted to order the long ear sunfish, but they were not currently in stock, so I had asked if they had pumpkin seed because they're a similar body shape. I think that the long ears get a better adult coloration, and I'll see if I could track some of those down eventually, but for now we got the pumpkin seed. And these ones too, I'm going to set into the tank and we will float acclimate them. And finally, let me cut this. We've got, and wow, these ones are, it's kind of ironic because these ones are the biggest of all of the fish that I received, yet they are by far the smallest growing of any that will be in the tank. So these are dollar sunfish. I believe they're the eastern dollar fish. I'll check that here in a second, but they are a dollar sunfish, and they get about 5 inches long, whereas the green sunfish get around 9 to 12, somewhere in that range, and then the pumpkin seed get roughly around 9 to 10, I believe. So I will float acclimate these guys as well, and then I'll show you something that I noticed here in just a second. So right here, these are the green sunfish, and here are the pumpkin seed, and I can tell just from looking at them that these are way too small to put with these guys just yet. As I said before, the green sunfish they're very mean, and by nature, obviously that's just how they are, but they would no doubt eat these guys at the size that they are. So luckily I have multiple quarantine tanks set up, and I am not gonna put these with the greens. So I just checked my order again because I was looking in this bag and I'm like, hey, this is kind of weird. This guy right here does not look like those. And I went and checked, and it turns out that they did send me that central long ear sunfish, and he is this one right here, and all of these are the greens. So we actually got them all, which is pretty sweet. And depending on how the stocking goes, maybe I will still get more of these, or I'll just keep it as a solitary fish, because of anything that's going to be in the tank, this one is definitely going to look the nicest. And I'll either put a picture up on screen or Google search the name, but this thing, it looks beautiful. It's amazing that these are pumpkinseed sunfish. I've never seen them as infants, or maybe I have and I just didn't realize it, but they do not at all look like how they will as adults. So let me take this bag out here, and again, these are the pumpkinseed sunfish, and I'm gonna put this in my other quarantine tank, which I'll show you shortly. And we will add the dollar sunfish into here in the meantime. Oh, these guys are feisty. Look at that. And as you can see right here, I have my other quarantine tank. We've got the sunfish up here, of course, acclimating. So what I've got in here already are 2 snakeskin gourami. That one right there is a snakeskin. And I have, I think 3 or 4 pearl gouramis. I can't remember, but right now they're being a little bit weird because I have a light on. I don't keep a light on this tank, so they're not being out and about as much as they typically would because they are definitely not shy anymore. Whenever I had first got them, they were extremely shy, didn't want to eat, didn't want to see me, nothing like that. But they are pretty social. Oh, here, check this out. We have 2 of the pearls. They are interested in their new inhabitants. And you may be wondering, you know, these gourami, they're fairly larger than these fish. And gourami, they have a small mouth. They're relatively peaceful. And you might also be thinking, well, at this size, will the sunfish sort of be mean to them? And I highly doubt it. Just as they're small, they don't really exhibit the traits they do whenever they're adults. They're nowhere near as mean. And I'll actually show you my other one right now. He's 2 right now, and he's definitely in the terrible 2s. And that will lead into kind of why I got these fish in the first place. But we'll move on. So while everybody's getting acclimated to their tanks, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown as to why I got the fish that I did and kind of what the plans are for them long term, and just kind of what you can expect to see in my fish keeping hobby, I guess, because obviously I keep a ton of animals and fish as well. Anyways, behind me here we have my 90-gallon community tank, and in here I have my, I guess he's like a sub-adult because he's not an adult yet, but he's definitely not a juvenile sunfish. He's about probably around 6 inches long, so we'll say he's about half size. I know it's a male because he digs nests. He'll go kind of upright like this with his tail facing down, and he digs a little burrow, and only the males do that, so I know he's a male. Anyways, I've kept these guys in the past, and I actually had one. It was about maybe 10 inches long, and I had a tiger Oscar that was about this big, and they would butt heads, and I think typically he would scare the Oscar away. You know, they'd look at each other with their mouths open, just kind of like trying to spook each other out, and 9 times out of 10 the Oscar would swim away. It would not bother with them. So their reputation kind of precedes them. Green sunfish, they're very mean. They're probably one of the meanest sunfish. But anyways, I didn't notice any sort of aggression from him for about the 2.5, 3 years that I've had him. But as I just said, he's in his terrible 2s right now, and I saw something that I've never seen from him. And once I saw it, I kind of determined, yeah, he can't be living with these fish anymore. He always chased the silver dollars. He doesn't really bother with any of the other fish. He's afraid of the catfish, doesn't really even acknowledge the gouramis, but the silver dollars, he hates them. I don't know what it is. When I first got the silver dollars, I was like, yeah, these will be like a dither fish. They'll kind of take out his aggression a little bit, because if you have aggressive fish and you get dither fish, which are typically schooling fish that move really fast, they'll make the aggression levels of typically aggressive fish a little bit less, or that's what the plan was in this case at least. But it turns out that he hates them. For whatever reason, he does not like them. So he would always chase them, kind of just scare them away, and they would swim away. But I noticed that he bit one, and I don't know how long it's been going on. I always kind of assumed that they were just hitting into the decorations, but I kind of think maybe some of their missing scales and whatnot were from him actually biting them. So whenever that happened, I was like, he's got to get out. So as you guys know, I'm moving my king snake into a new tank here shortly, which will free up my 150 gallon. That tank is going to become my freshwater community tank, which all of these fish will go in there except for that sunfish. He's going to stay in this tank. I'll switch it up a little bit. I'm going to turn it into a planted aquarium, but he'll stay in here, and then all of those other sunfish that I just got will go in here as well. And I kind of wanted to do that anyways, and actually, if you remember here, we'll go back to this clip from about a year ago. I said something about it. By far my favorite fish in the tank. He's got a ton of character, and I've had these in the past, and they're great fish. Maybe sometime I'll do a native aquarium myself, and stock it mainly with these guys because I like them. Initially, I had said this would become a paludarium once I moved the fish out, and it will. It's just going to happen a little bit later than I had initially said, or I think it will at least. We'll see. I'm always changing my mind on this stuff just because I really want to make the best setups for the animals that I have now already, and I would rather not keep him in with a tropical fish any longer, as I said, because of the aggressive nature, but also because I want him to live long. If he's living in this tropical tank, as I said, his metabolism is sped up and he's just not going to live as long. So I really want to make him have the longest life possible because he's a great fish. Alright, so we'll start out at this, which, by the way, it's a 20-gallon tall. I'm not going to be using it for anything for a while, so I thought it would be a good tank to use as the quarantine tank. We're just going to snip this and hold this bag tight. Hurry up and just dump them in here. And there they are. They look very nice. They already have a lot of that metallic coloring, but I'm going to get them in here. And they kind of just, they swam right in there. They don't look like they're stressed at all. The coloration is very deep, if you want to say that, because whenever I first pulled them out of the bag, they were really light, almost a tan color, but they have some of those nice grays and blue sort of hues that is indicative of this type of fish. See, look, he's already coming out. Hey, what's going on? So the landscape in here, it's not anything too crazy. They don't need anything too crazy. They're not really much of a hider or anything like that, so this will be perfect for them. Here we have the dollar sunfish, 2 of them. Oh, come on, little buddy. Just let them swim right out. No need to dunk them into the tank or anything like that. They'll just swim in and do their thing. And there they are. Already looking like they want to eat. I think I'm going to try feed these guys in a little bit because, quite honestly, I think they'll eat. Look at him. Already looks beautiful. We got the green swimming on back there. What's up, buddy? I believe that is the biggest one. Here's that little one right here. Very cool fish. Definitely something that I would like to see more of. And finally, we got these little baby pumpkin seeds, and I probably could actually put these in with the other ones. I was just looking at them again, and they're not really as small as I had originally thought, but I don't want to take any chances, so we'll just put them in with the gouramis to be safe. All 3 of them. And there they are. I don't know where the 3rd one went. Where is he? I don't know. I'm not sure where the 3rd one is, but these guys look pretty good as well. The coloration is nice. I'm not going to feed these ones yet because I don't want to feed the gouramis prematurely. I feed them at a certain time in the day, so. Alright, so I got some bloodworms here, frozen thawed, and we will just put a little bit of them in here. The feeding frenzy has begun. Do you see what I mean, though, that they're like cichlids? Just the way that they act and everything, and obviously they look like them as well. But I guess technically they're not a cichlid. What's up, man? Ooh. I ate that all fast. I could go for more.
definitely healthy, definitely well acclimated. This is actually a few days after I had unboxed them. I unboxed them Thursday night, and this is Sunday morning, so they're doing very well. I have high hopes for these guys, of course, and very excited to do what I'm going to do for these guys. No signs of any illness. All appear to be well. Yeah, that's about it for these guys. I'll move on to the other tank. And now on to the other quarantine tank, which has the Pumpkinseed Sunfish and the gouramis. And these ones became acclimated to feeding and my presence a lot faster than the other ones did. And I think it's because the gouramis already are acclimated to me, so they kind of picked up on that. But here, we'll put some bloodworms in here as well.
So that about does it for this unboxing, everyone. As always, I appreciate you guys and thank you for watching. And really the main reason why I got all of these fish was because the pod is right. I've got that tank set up over there right now with the tropical fish. They'll all be moving over, and then we have a 90-gallon to work with, which will be sweet. And I don't know if all of these fish will live in there, for their whole entire lives. Likely I'll upgrade to a larger tank eventually, but for a year or two, maybe a little bit longer, they'll stay in that 90-gallon. And that's just what it is. I want to show some love for these awesome fish in the aquarium hobby. Obviously, like I said, they're not commonly kept, and quite honestly, I don't understand why. They're in a lot of cases easier to care for simply because of how hardy they are. They look just as nice as at least half of the tropical fish that are sold out there, and they have big personalities. So really, to me, I don't get why they're not as commonly kept, but whatever, it's neither here nor there. So I'll see you guys next time. I got another unboxing coming up shortly. As I said, we got more native fish coming in that will live with these guys as well, and I have more DIY projects and that sort of thing on the horizon as well. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.